You know the type. They shower you with compliments, offer unsolicited favors, and seem like they're auditioning for the title of world's nicest person. But something feels off. Their kindness feels excessive, almost like it's hiding. Something? Well, you're not wrong. Not all smiles are genuine, and not all kindness comes from the heart. Some people are so sweet they'll give you cavities. But beneath that sugary exterior, they might be plotting something stickier than syrup. Today, we're diving into the truth about overly nice people and why their kindness might be masking something more sinister. Buckle up. This is going to get real. They're too nice to be real. Let's start with the overly nice people, the ones who make you think, wow, they're so sweet, too sweet. That's because they often are. These are the folks who show up with cupcakes, bombard you with compliments, and act like they're auditioning for sainthood. But let's be honest. Nobody's that perfect. Here's the controversial part. Being overly nice is often a strategy, not a personality trait. Some people use fake kindness as a mask to hide their true intentions. It's like a wolf in sheep's clothing, except the sheep is handing out cookies and saying, "You're amazing." Take my former neighbor, Karen. Classic, right? She was the epitome of nice, watering plants, leaving thank you notes, and complimenting everything. "Oh, you're so brave for cutting your hair so short. I could never do that." Wait, was that a compliment or a backhanded insult? At first, I thought Karen was the best, but then the truth came out. Every nice thing she did came with strings attached. If you didn't return the favor, you'd suddenly find yourself on her bad side. And trust me, Karen's bad side was worse than no side at all. Here's the deeper truth. Evil isn't always obvious. It doesn't show up with a pitchfork and horns. It often hides behind a smile. That's why overly nice people can be so dangerous. They disarm you with kindness, lower your defenses, and then strike when you least expect it. It's not just about being fake. It's about control. They use niceness as a tool to manipulate situations, make you feel indebted, or gain your trust before flipping the script. The takeaway. If someone's kindness feels forced or excessive, don't ignore that gut feeling. Real kindness is quiet, effortless, and doesn't demand anything in return. Fake kindness? That's a transaction. It's like someone offering you a free donut and then asking for your firstborn child as payment. No thanks, Karen. 2. They're obsessed with control. Now, let's talk about the control freaks. The people who need to be in charge of everything, everyone, and every situation. At first, they might seem helpful, organized, or even protective. You might think, wow, they really have their life together. But spend enough time around them, and you'll realize their help feels more like a chokehold. Their organization borders on dictatorship, and their protection is just a sneaky way of taking over your decisions. Control freaks aren't about order, they're about domination. They can't stand the idea of not being in charge, whether it's a work project, a family gathering, or even your dinner order. Ever had someone try to fix your plate at a buffet? No, you don't want that. You should get this instead. Excuse me, are you my dietitian? Or just incapable of letting me make my own choices? What makes these people dangerous is how subtle they can be. They don't storm into a room yelling, "I'm in charge now." Instead, they use guilt, flattery, or fear to get you to hand over control willingly. They guilt trip you. "I'm just trying to help. Why are you being so difficult?" They play the expert card. "Trust me, I've done this a million times. I know what's best." They create fear of failure. If you do it your way and it doesn't work, don't come crying to me. Take Jessica, for example. She wasn't just managing her life. She was trying to manage mine, too. If I mentioned trying something new, she'd swoop in with, "Oh no, I wouldn't do that if I were you. Here's what you should do instead." When I booked a weekend trip with friends, she tried to convince me it was a terrible idea. What if the weather's bad? What if something goes wrong? When that didn't work, she organized her own trip on the same weekend and tried to guilt me into ditching my plans. Classic control freak move. The takeaway. Control freaks disguise their behavior as care. "I'm just trying to help. I know what's best for you." But real care doesn't rob you of your freedom. The next time someone tries to control you, ask yourself, Are they helping me, or are they helping themselves feel powerful? Remember, your life is yours to live, not theirs to dictate. 3. They take credit for your success. Let's get one thing straight. When you work hard for something, your success is yours. So why do some people feel entitled to snatch the spotlight and claim it as their own? It's like they're allergic to the words, "Great job, you did it." Instead, they're over here saying, "Oh yeah, we worked so hard on that." Here's the truth. People who steal credit aren't just insecure, they're actively disrespecting your value. They want the rewards without the effort, and they'll trample over you to get them. Some are subtle about it. They'll say, "We're such a great team. I couldn't have done it without you." Translation: you did all the work, but I'm going to bask in the glory. I once had a teammate, Amanda, who claimed credit for a presentation I'd spent hours designing. "I worked really hard on this design," she said. Wait, what? Amanda's contribution had been choosing the font, badly, might I add. When I confronted her, she said, "Oh, I didn't mean to take all the credit. I just figured it's fine since we're a team." A team? Then why does it feel like I'm carrying the whole thing on my back? The takeaway: if someone takes credit for your success, call it out immediately. Keep receipts. Document your work so you can prove your contribution. Remember, their theft doesn't make them better. It just proves they can't shine without stealing someone else's light. They manipulate without you. Noticing manipulation is the sneakiest form of control. It's subtle, insidious, and often goes unnoticed until you're knee-deep in someone else's agenda. Manipulators aren't waving red flags. They're working behind the scenes, planting seeds of doubt, twisting the narrative, and pulling strings so subtly you don't notice until it's too late. They use tactics like gaslighting. "I never said that." "You're overreacting." Guilt-tripping. "After everything I've done for you, you're really going to say no?" And false flattery. "You're so smart. No one else could handle this as well as you." I once had a friend, Ryan, who was a master manipulator. He'd offer to help with small tasks and then cash in those favors weeks later. When I confided in him about a tough decision, he subtly planted doubts in my mind. "Are you sure you're ready for that promotion? It's a lot of responsibility." Looking back, I realized he was undermining my confidence to keep me dependent on him. The takeaway: trust your gut. If something feels off, it probably is. Set clear boundaries and call manipulators out carefully. Remember, their manipulation says more about their flaws than it ever will about yours. 5. They never apologize. Finally, let's talk about the people who are physically incapable of saying, "I'm sorry." Refusing to apologize isn't just a personality quirk, it's a power move. It's their way of saying, "I'm above." Accountability. People who never apologize often see it as a sign of weakness. But here's the twist. True strength lies in humility. It takes courage to own your mistakes and make amends. Non-apologizers have a whole toolkit of tactics to dodge accountability. There's the non-apology apology. "I'm sorry you feel that way." The blame shift. "If you hadn't done X, I wouldn't have reacted like that." And the silent treatment, ghosting the issue entirely. I once worked with someone, Steve, who botched a project deadline and then blamed the team. If everyone had been clearer about their roles, this wouldn't have happened. "Excuse me, Steve. We were all clear except you." The takeaway: stop expecting an apology from people who refuse to give one. Set clear boundaries and focus on their actions, not their words. Refusing to apologize isn't just about avoiding blame. It's about refusing to connect. You don't need their apology to move on. Acknowledge their wrongdoing, learn from it, and let it go without their permission. Final thoughts: life is too short to let toxic people rent space in your mind. Whether they're manipulators, credit stealers, or unapologetic egomaniacs, their behavior says more about them than it ever will about you. What matters most is how you respond. Do you let them pull you into their chaos, or do you rise above, set boundaries, and protect your peace? Spoiler alert: always choose the latter. You deserve a life filled with love, respect, and authenticity. Never let anyone make you feel like you're asking for too much by wanting the bare minimum of kindness and decency. Stay strong, stay sharp, and most importantly, stay unapologetically you.